It gives me great pleasure to welcome in a legitimate race car driver. And I love racing. If you're in Detroit, how can you not love racing? Katherine Legge joins us from the Delta Wing racing car team. Katherine, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me on.
Oh, see, I love that accent. You know, I mean, that's just great. I have a really good friend of mine, grew up in London, and he immigrated to Canada, now lives here, has been in the United States. Simon, and he never lost it. He's still the same, you know. He doesn't have that nasal Michigan thing and all that kind of stuff. I guess that's just one of the things that just stay with you. I mean, I'm sure you live in England, but
I don't. I actually live over here now, and when I go home, everybody says I sound American.
You got to be kidding me!
Yeah.
Wow, I wish I could sound like you then. I mean, if that's an American accent, I love it. All right, enough of that. Katherine, let's get serious here because, you know, sometimes when you interview female athletes, they're not attractive. You're attractive, so I'm going to try to just keep it, and I'm not trying to sound sexist,
you.
No,
I appreciate it.
Yeah, How did you get into racing?
I started racing go-karts when I was 9 years old, and it was purely by coincidence, really. We went on a family holiday, or vacation, as you would say, and we had to go on the fun carts, like you do, and loved it, absolutely loved it. Came back, researched where we could do it locally in England, and that, as they say, is history. Then for the next 10 years, every single weekend, come rain or shine or snow or whatever, we were racing.
Is it the speed that attracted you to racing? I mean, is that what gets, whether you're a male or female, is that what's the first instinct is, boy, I just like to go fast?
I think so. I think I was always a bit of a tomboy growing up. I was a bit of an adrenaline junkie, and I liked to do anything that was a little bit on the edge and a bit scary, and I think it was the speed at first, but there's so many other things that keep you hooked on the sport. You can never reach perfection. There's always something you can learn and go better, and you're always striving for that next step. And I think it's the constant battle with yourself to be as good as you can be that keeps you motivated.
And so you go through the ranks. Being a woman, how difficult was it for you to rise through the ranks? I mean, we always hear that, women, in my business, you have to prove yourself a heck of a lot more than a man has to prove himself.
I think so, and that's the route that I chose to take. Whether that's right or wrong, I think looking back, I probably could have made a lot more money if I'd done it differently and gone down the, FHM kind of route. But I think it gave me opportunities, as well as maybe not having, it goes against you as much as it goes for you, is what I'm trying to say. I think, because it is unique and it is a bit different, although times are changing, and I don't think it is like that anymore. I think that female drivers are seen as racing drivers, and they get the same treatment as the guys do for the most part. It
sounds interesting. I mean, would you walk into a situation, we'll get into the car and why you're actually here in Detroit, but you would walk into a situation, you would say, you know what, I can use being a female to my advantage in this situation, as opposed to some situations where you knew that this isn't, being a woman's not really going to help me out.
Yeah, but I really didn't. I didn't play on the female thing. I really tried to do it like I'm a professional athlete, and I'm going to do it the way that the guys do it, and I'm not going to use the sexiness or sex or whatever to sell me. I wanted to be taken seriously within the sport.
Well, certainly you are. I mean, you're an accomplished driver, and I have to ask you first about the Delta Wing Coupe. That it says that it resembles like the Batmobile, this car, and and Batman, the television series, is finally going to be released on DVD this year, so it's like perfect timing for you, because that thing is going to go through the roof, the sales.
It's in my back cave at the moment.
Yeah, tell us about this car. It's fuel efficient, yet it's fast. It doesn't lose anything. It just sounds like really the future of, I would say, not only racing, maybe automobiles.
Absolutely, and actually you bring up a good point, because historically what we do in racing transfers over to what people see in their road cars, and the technology is kind of at the forefront for auto manufacturers. And so what they're thinking they might do is build Delta Wing road cars, so in a few years you might be able to see one on the road, and it's great because it uses half the fuel, half the tyres, it weighs half as much as a conventional sports car, and you get all the downforce from the underneath of the car rather than having big wings on it. Right. And it's a really neat concept. It's very forward thinking and futuristic in a way, and it is the future.
And it's fast.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's fast. We were doing about 190 for the most part on the banking at Daytona last month.
So it's not when you're behind it, you wouldn't know that you were in a car that I guess is fuel efficient or anything. Is it? It's a complete race car, or is there a different feel for it?
You know, you have to Google it and see what it looks like if you haven't seen it, because it does look very, very different to a conventional sports car. And one of the funny stories was when I first went to get in the car, I thought, how am I going to drive this? Because it's so weird. You know, the front tires are a couple of inches wide almost, not normal looking. I'm thinking this is going to take some really special driving style. And I got in it and it drives like a race car and it feels like a race car and you get the same feedback and everything is normal. It's weird that it's so normal when from the outside you have so many preconceived ideas about it.
Wow, yeah, it sounds like it would be a rush. Now, is this the type of car where can you know, like, could you take a passenger around the track for them to get a feel, or is it?
No,
there's not enough room.
Yeah, for me.
Really, you're not large. I mean, you know.
Thanks. Well, it's difficult to get in and out because it's the coupe version. You know, the doors are very small. It's like gull wing almost, and so to do driver changes, we were practicing for a good more than a half a day, I guess, between the four of us getting in and out, trying to do it in the 30 seconds or less than we needed to do it in.
National Academy, the Grand Prix will be announcing the return of free Grand Prix Day on Friday, March 30th. Mm-hmm. But you're also going to be working with students here in the Metro Detroit area, some female students, and you know, can you tell us about that a little bit? And free Grand Prix Day, which is my kind of day.
Right. So Co-America, being the fantastic partner that they are to the Detroit Grand Prix, have announced that, or are going to announce, I guess we're kind of groundbreaking here, you know?
Yeah, that's right. That's how I roll, you know. Meryl knows that.
They're announcing today that they're going to be back as a partner for the Free Friday, where everybody can go in for free, and it's kind of like a family day. It's really cool. It's really fun. So everybody has to go down there. And if you don't go on the Friday, then you can go to DetroitGP.com for your tickets for the rest of the weekend. Obviously, it's just a fantastic event to go to. For me, the street and road courses are the best ones just because of the atmosphere. You know, it's not just about the cars, but you can go down there and just have a great family day out.
Now, as part of the Grand Prix Free Day, you and your Delta Wing team will host students from the Detroit International Academy at their garage during the Grand Prix weekend to meet some of the teams and members and all that. I mean, that's got to be cool. I mean, the outreach, especially to kids and influence, especially to young ladies who might not know that, hey, racing a car is an option for me.
Right, and it's not only racing. The thing that I emphasize is, you know, racing is probably the most volatile of the careers that you could choose in motorsport. But we need female engineers, we need female mechanics, PR people, marketing. In every aspect we need to encourage not just girls as well, you know, boys too, to get involved and to keep the sport that we love going strong. And I think that the way we're pushing STEM, science, technology, engineering and math is really important because just like the Delta Wing, I firmly believe that is the future.
When you, I know that you've been to the Detroit Grand Prix. You haven't driven the course though, but you will this year. Are you looking forward to? Because you know, I go back to the first Detroit Grand Prix, which was a Grand Prix race in Ayrton Senna, I believe. You know, and boompy. All we heard was about how bumpy. I know it isn't the same course now, and it's over on Belle Isle. But what have you heard about the course, and are you looking forward to driving it?
Yeah, bumpy.
yeah, right. Boompy.
I am looking forward to driving it. Actually, the last 2 years I've been here for the Grand Prix, and I was supposed to be driving, and something happened that meant that I wasn't. So I am really looking forward to coming for absolute definite this year that we're going to be driving. And yeah, it's bumpy, but I think that makes for something different and something interesting. The fact that it's on the Belle Isle makes it interesting and unique, and I think it really is. If you live in the area and you have an opportunity to go and see the cars, then you should. You know, you have Indianapolis in the 500, and then the weekend after you have this, and I think it's just fantastic momentum, and it's such a cool event. I'm really proud to be part of it.
What's it like driving the Indy 500? I mean, to me, that's still I mean, I can remember when it wasn't on live TV, and then they showed on Sunday night on tape delay, and then now that it's finally live. I mean, that was always like Memorial Day weekend, I guess. It was always the big event. I mean, I tuned into it all the time. You actually got to drive in that. I mean, it's got to be incredible.
Yeah, 2 years now I've done it, and it's like an addiction. It's like a bug. I want to do it again this year, obviously, with a competitive team. Last year I was very fortunate. I was in a really good car, and it was my mistake that cost us a good finish. But it's one of those races, the will to win it and the desire to do well there, it's just overwhelming. You're thinking about it in June. You know, you're getting ready for it in June the year before you actually do it. It's definitely one of the ones on the bucket list.
Well, we look forward to you being here in Detroit, announcing it, the things you're doing with within the community. Katherine Legge, best of luck. I really appreciate it. You spending some time and good. I mean, female racing, you're kind of, I would say, almost second generation of female drivers, and it just gets better and better, I hope, every year for racing in general. The guys too, but especially for women drivers. Because they get they get hassled a lot. There's there's all kinds of jokes about female drivers, and it's just not true. But Katherine, thank you very, very much. Best of luck to you, and we look forward to seeing you at the Grand Prix. And
on June the 1st.
That's right. Looks good. Thank you very much. There she is. Katherine Legge joins us here on Detroit's 1130 WDFN, The Fan.